This morning I was just out doing a big, large garden harvest. The summer produce is finally starting to come in, and I harvested all these beautiful flowers. And my original intention for growing most of these flowers that are on this table right here are for creating a beautiful garlic braid. I have wanted to do this, I think, for the last 3 summers, but 2 summers ago, I only grew hardneck garlic varieties, so I couldn't braid them. I now know you can braid hardneck garlic varieties, but it's a lot of work to remove that big stalk that is in there. Last year, my garlic harvest was pitiful and it wasn't worth braiding. And this year, I've got enough that I think I can make one beautiful garlic braid. So I harvested this garlic, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago now, and it's just been drying. What I have on my table, my ingredients for my garlic braid, we're not going to use all of these flowers, but we're going to incorporate some of them. We have, this is feverfew. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add this to the garlic braid or not. I for sure am going to add these deep burgundy straw flowers. Randomly when we were sitting out here, because I decided to do this just last minute, I was about to sit down and braid this garlic and I thought, hey, let's hang out together and do this together live. Why not? And we're doing it outside, very impromptu. Josh is sitting here so he can field some questions for me, but we do not have our whole setup like we normally do. And so this is just you and me hanging out this morning, braiding garlic. While I was sitting here and Josh was getting set up, I grabbed some lavender from my landscape because I thought that that would be a good component because it's a good drying herb, or flower, I should say. I don't know if it's an herb or not. I've got some apricot. This is statice. Many of you guys thought when you saw these in my garden beds, you thought it was a weed because before the plant shoots up these shoots, it does kind of look like a dandelion or a weed. And this is an apricot variety. And then this is a white variety. I'm pretty sure I got these 3 drying flowers, the statice flowers and the straw flowers, from M.I. Gardner. And right now, if you want to pre-order garlic, I'm pretty sure he has a pre-order open, and so does Botanical Interest. If you want to order your seed garlic, it does sell out pretty quickly, and so now would be a time to at least get on their websites and look at varieties. I ordered these through Botanical Interest last year, but I have ordered from Johnny Seed, M.I. Gardner, and Botanical Interest for my seed garlic. But this whole box of garlic I bought from a local farmer at my local farmer's market, and I use that as seed garlic. Lots of options. So we can talk more about planting garlic and growing garlic after we go ahead and get started on braiding this. Now, straw flower and statice and lavender are known to be flowers that dry really well. And we are outside and the sun is coming out and it's beautiful. It's been overcast. We've had rain here for, I don't think I'm going to use this feverfew. We've had rain here for 2 days, and today is the first day the sun's coming out again, and it feels nice. And these garlic heads have just been drying. So I have a couple here that I'm going to select not to braid, and I'll kind of go over why. This one right here, I probably could have harvested this particular plant a week or 2 earlier because it's starting to split. So I'm going to put this in my kitchen, and we're going to use this within a week or so. This one, when I was harvesting, I damaged one of the cloves, so I'm going to also put this in my kitchen and we will eat that up quickly. But these ones are looking beautiful. And what I did before these, I'm going to say that again. So what I did to prepare these garlic bulbs before we're braiding them is I cut the dead roots off that had dried, and I removed most of the dirty papers. I'm going to go through and just clean them up just a little bit more so that they're nice and pretty, because I want these heads of garlic to look nice in my kitchen, because I'm going to hang this up in my kitchen, I think, if it goes well. I'm just cleaning these up, and then we're going to braid them. And I haven't braided garlic since the first and second year I gardened, so it's been many years. So we're going to figure this out together. I have watched a couple videos on it. And I have out here, along with my flowers, my ingredients to make my braid. I have some twine, I have some rubber bands, and I have some scissors because we're going to need to cut down our flowers a little bit. So all I'm doing is removing that outside paper that's got a little bit of dirt on it just so that this looks pretty and not dirty in my kitchen. And Josh he's not mic'd up, but I can hear him. So, if you guys have some questions, he can field them to me and I'll just repeat what he says.
I actually do have the mic.
Oh, you do? Okay, perfect.
I'm not sure if I'm just breathing into it or whatever, but we do have one question about garlic. I think since this will be a little bit shorter live, if we can keep the questions related to like garlic or garlic braiding or, kind of similar topics, that's probably all we'll have time for. But this one is from Angela D. She says, I'm going to be buying garlic from an organic farmer who is currently curing it.
Okay.
How long would that garlic last, or would it need processing immediately?
You're buying the garlic from him for your own personal use. If you're buying, I'll answer it because I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. If you're buying it just to use to cook with, it depends on what variety. So when you go and you buy it, ask the farmer, is this a hardneck variety or a softneck variety? Typically, softneck varieties have a pantry shelf life of 6 to 12 months. The garlic you buy in your grocery store is 99% of the time, I made that statistic up, softneck because it has a longer shelf life. If it's a hardneck garlic variety, then usually the max you're going to get is at the very high end 6 months, but plan for 4 months. So you can just keep it, and once you notice that it's starting to get soft, then go ahead and process it. You can either freeze it, dehydrate it, freeze dry it, whatever method you want to put it up. So we're going to start the braid here. So we're going to start with 3 heads of garlic, and we're just going to start by braiding it just like you normally would. The trick is when you start, and you know what I think I'm going to do to start this? You might be able to hear an airplane overhead.
What type are the large heads that you're braiding?
These are all soft neck garlic varieties, and I don't know the actual variety names. I went back and watched the day that I planted these. I planted these October 4th of last year, and I did not say the names of them. So I cannot remember. I could actually probably go back and look at my order, but I didn't think about that till I'm just talking with you now. My hardneck varieties, these ones down here, are called Rocambole, and the cloves are huge. And my other variety that I have over there that we harvested together are Great North. And the Great North actually was a gift from one of you all from your garden. So that was pretty special that I was able to grow that and hopefully do you proud. I'm very happy with that variety. So what I've done with these 3 heads of garlic is I just tied them together. You don't have to do that if you're an expert garlic braider, but I am not, so I went ahead and did that. And I think what I'm going to do is start with one of my straw flowers here. And I'm going to remove quite a bit of the greenery on it just because I think I'll have better success with it drying out properly if there's not as much greenery. So I've never done this before, so we're doing this together. You're going to see if I can get this to turn out. And we're just having fun sitting on the patio together. So I'm going to just stick this straw flower along with one of my garlic braids or garlic stems here. And then I'm going to add a garlic stem or a garlic head right into the middle because you've got 3. So I'm going to add that right to the middle. And now when I braid, every time I add one, I'm going to just grab all of the stems together, and this is now going to be one component of our braid, if that makes sense. There are some really good detailed videos on YouTube on how to do this. Garden Answer has one that's really good that I've watched a couple times. Okay, so I'm going to add, because I want this to be symmetrical, I'm going to go ahead and add another straw flower on the opposite side here. And I'm going to just take the stems of the flowers and I'm going to incorporate them. So now this is one component of our braid.
Have you already gone over the types of flowers that are on the table?
Yeah, so the one I'm holding right now is called straw flower, and this one over here is status. Those are the 2 main ones I'm going to use. I do have some lavender here as well. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use the lavender. The reason I chose these varieties of flowers is they dry very, very well. I'm going to add another head of garlic, and I'm going to do my first actual braiding. And I'm just braiding like you would normally, but every time I incorporate a new head of garlic, I add that to that braid. And I have to remember how to braid. Oh, see? My straw flower broke the stem. So I'm going to have to add a new one there. Or it might stay. It might have broke far enough up that it'll stay in there. If nothing else, I will have a braid of garlic. If the flowers don't end up staying in place, that's okay. It'll still be beautiful if it's just garlic braided together hanging up in my kitchen. So again, I'm removing most of the greenery. And this is just free form design here. I'll bring you in really close once we have this all done. Now I'm going to add some of our status. And I did make sure that these plants are nice and dry so that I'm not adding moisture into the stems of garlic. Oh, that's pretty. I think what I'm going to do is add this underneath. So right now is a great time to start thinking about getting yourself some garlic if you want to plant it. The best time to plant garlic is in the fall because garlic needs to go through a cold period. It's called cold stratification, where that cold period, when the garlic clove, so you take your garlic head, you break it into cloves, you plant that in the fall. And when that sits out in the garden over winter, that cold period tells that clove of garlic to break into different cloves so that it can grow into a head of garlic. Let's see.
What are the benefits to braiding the garlic? Is it just for looks or?
Yeah, so it's for looks, it's for beauty, it's for keeping it dry and up off the ground. But sorry, there's an airplane going overhead. I'll
We
let
told
that
them not
pass.
to fly today, but
They didn't listen to us.
so essentially it's just for looks.
It's for looks, it's for keeping it dry, it's for, but you don't have to do this. Even with your soft neck garlic varieties, if you want to just cut the stems off and have them like this, you can do that too.
We have a question from Miss Maria who asks if you've ever heard of or would like to try garlic ice cream.
I have not, and I'm not sure if I would enjoy that. Would you try that, Josh?
I'd maybe try it, just have to think about
That's true. I would
more
try
savory. She said she saw it in a Danish cooking program.
Oh, wow.
She's from Denmark.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's very interesting.
I went to Denmark when I was in college between my 2 years in hygiene school. We had a friend in high school who was a Danish exchange student who lived with us. And so when I was in college, me and my friend had the opportunity to go back to Denmark and visit her, which was pretty cool. Denmark is an absolutely beautiful country. We were also able to go to Germany as well, which was also an absolutely beautiful country. All right, so let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things of straw flower in here and 3 things of status. I might go ahead and get 1 more straw flower in here if I can. Let's see if I can tuck this in here. So I think one of the keys after doing this now, one time, I'm now not an expert, but I've got a little bit of experience, is it's actually easier if you use the younger, more tender flowers instead of these ones with this huge stalk, because that just wants to break on you and not braid, which makes sense, versus when I use these smaller side shoots, they're really floppy and bendy, and those braid up really well.
Are you able to plant the garlic in containers over winter instead of in the ground?
Yeah, you can grow garlic in containers. Absolutely.
And then, kind of related, um, if garlic starts to sprout in the pantry, is there anything that can be done to save it?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do with my hardneck garlic varieties that aren't going to last a super long time is I am going to just bring them downstairs to the pantry. I'm going to let them hang out there. I'm going to let harvest season kind of get behind me, and then I will process it. So all you need to do is peel it and either chop it up or put it whole in your freezer or dehydrator, and you can then use it however you'd like. Some people say that once garlic sprouts, it doesn't taste very good, but I personally use it if it sprouts. My goal is to try to get through all that, process it before it all starts to sprout, but you know, if I buy garlic, fresh garlic at the store and it sprouts, I still use it.
Do you think garlic would do okay in a green stock?
I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I have never tried that, so I would maybe give it a try. I think it would do pretty well in a pot, so I don't know why it wouldn't do well in a green stock. I think it depends on your temperature too. That's something to look into, because I know that there's different varieties. I can't remember now, and I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on this. I think hardneck garlic varieties do better in the north where it's very, very cold. Oh shoot, that was my rubber band. I was just going to put a rubber band at the top here, and then I'll bring you in close to show you. So that's something to look into. So if you are super, super cold or even super, super warm, looking and just doing a simple Google search maybe to see if either hardneck garlic varieties or softneck garlic varieties do better for you. Okay, so we've got our braid. I'm going to clean it up a little bit.
That looks great.
I want to bring you in close, but I'm going to finish the top part here. I think what I'm going to do is bring around the tops like that so that I can hang it from that, but I'm going to need to use some twine to make this a loop. Or Josh, you think I should just cut this and then make a loop with the twine, or kind of loop it like that?
I feel like the loop that you just did would be fine.
Okay, let me do a little bit of braiding so that it looks a little bit neater. The straw flower stems are very, very firm in here, so I'm just going to trim these down a little bit so I can manipulate the top of this a little better. And I think I'm going to go ahead and tie this as well. So I have a rubber band at the top, and we're going to tie this here.
How do you feel about planting garlic in the fall, anywhere that you have room for it, and then just transplanting it in the spring?
I have never even considered that as an option. I think that's a really unique option. I am not sure about that. At my first house, or not my first house, but the first house we met at, so our last house, the previous owners, she had elephant garlic all over her landscape. It was in every flower bed. I could not figure out what this thing was growing that smelled like garlic, and we actually were family friends of theirs, and so I had her number, the previous owner's number. So I texted her and I said, "What is this plant?" And she said it was elephant garlic. And so every year we lived there, I would harvest a ton of elephant garlic just throughout the landscape, and it would plant itself because it was everywhere, and I would not harvest it all. And so it just kept propagating itself. So it was kind of like, it acted like a perennial because it would just come back year after year. And my plan is to do that here. I just haven't done that yet. So I'm just braiding the top part here just so that it looks neat when I flip it around and make a loop.
And then unrelated, but what are the flowers behind you in the hanging basket?
Those are petunias. There's a local nursery to me that now it's kind of become my mother-in-law's and I's tradition. Every Mother's Day, it's just been the last 2 years, but I think we're making it a tradition now. I don't know how many times something has to happen before it's a tradition. And we go to this local nursery, and they have the most beautiful hanging baskets. They are the most affordable price. They are more affordable than what I could go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get a hanging basket. And they are, I think, much more beautiful. And the basket is actually metal with a core. And the cool thing about that nursery, it's called Araya's Nursery. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's worth it. And you can actually bring your basket back year after year and they can custom fill it for you. So I have this now braid at the top here. I'm going to trim this status stalk a little bit. I'm going to turn this over here. And now I'm going to tie this so that I have a braided loop. And I can't wait to show you this because I think it's beautiful. And now I want to grow even more soft neck garlic varieties next year because I want to be able to make a bunch of these. And this would make a beautiful gift. This would make an absolutely beautiful gift. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little bow. Should I do a bow? No. I think that'll distract from the look of it. I'm tying it a bunch because I want to ensure that it's going to stay. Garlic is one of my favorite crops to grow because I use it in probably almost every single savory dish I make, and I just find it very satisfying.
So when it comes time to use this, is there any specific way that you tend to use the heads? Do you like cut them out separately or?
Yep. I will show you what I do. I'm going to bring you in close.
Do you want me to bring them in close?
It's okay.
So you
I'm
can
just
stay
going to
there?
get up. So that is what it's looking like. So this white flower right here is the status, and these are the straw flowers. So I think that looks really good. And then this is what the top looks like. So I have the garlic at the bottom, we braided it, and then I braided it, flipped it over, and now we've got this loop. So this is how I'm going to hang it in my kitchen. Now, I did just harvest these flowers this morning, so they are not dry. And so what I'm thinking, I'm no expert, is that they're just going to dry in this braid. My thought was if I dried these flowers out before braiding them, then they would be too brittle and I wouldn't be able to braid them into the braid. They would just snap on me. And so that was my thinking. But I did want to make sure that my garlic had a chance to dry out pretty well before I did this because I didn't want the braid to mold because it wasn't dry. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this. And if it starts to mold because the flowers weren't dry, then I'll manage it and I'll keep you guys updated. I was going to show you how I would take one of these heads off. I would just take a pair of scissors and just cut one of them off as I want to use them. And I usually start from the top and work my way to the bottom. And you can just pull them off too. Sometimes the stalks are dry enough, you can just kind of rip them off as well. So that is the garlic braid. My next plan for today, I kind of surprised Josh with going live today. So what we're doing for the rest of the day is I'm going to go finish a big harvest. I've got probably 2 quarts of blueberries that need to be harvested. And I already harvested tons of peppers and the last of the peas. We did a bunch together, a bunch of projects in the garden. And Josh is finishing the trim today. The trim is
Let's hope. I've been putting off a couple of tricky spots, but
yes. So his goal
we're gonna get 'em.
today is to tackle those. I have been working slowly but surely on getting all the nail holes in the trim done upstairs, getting it all sealed up so that we can paint and move forward. So that's kind of our goal after I did this harvest and hung out with you for a little bit. So I'm pretty happy with this. I do see that this one, there's some dirt that I want to clean up. I can go and just trim these roots a little bit and make it look really nice. So are there any last questions?
A couple of questions related to the braid. First would
Yeah.
be, how long do you let that sit and dry before you use it?
So it really is going to depend on where you let it dry and your humidity. So we typically, I should say, are very, very dry in the summer. And so I just had this drying outside under this covered porch area for about 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that worked well enough for me. I was going to braid it last week, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give the stems a little bit more time. If you live somewhere super humid, it might take a little bit longer, and you might want to dry them inside your house or somewhere where you have a little bit more humidity control. We had 2 days of rain, which is not typical for us for this time of year, and so it's been abnormally humid for the past couple days. And I did end up bringing all my garlic inside, not because it was getting rained on, just because the humidity level was getting higher. And I didn't want these to kind of absorb that humidity, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then the last question is, if you're hanging this up in your kitchen, will it make your kitchen smell like garlic?
I don't think so.
We've never noticed it. I mean, we usually have some
Our,
food smells
I
anyway.
was going to say, maybe my house always smells like garlic because I cook with so much garlic. But just think of, because this is, I mean, I guess this is kind of a lot of garlic. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 heads of garlic in this braid. And you could make your garlic braids as long or as short as you want. This is just every single head that I have that was decent size. Some of these were really small of this variety, so I went ahead and we've already used them. I made a bunch of broth yesterday, and so I used all the really tiny heads so that I didn't have to peel them. I just threw them in the pot. But just think of, you know, if you go to the store and buy garlic, it, you know, that head doesn't really smell like garlic, and most people keep that out on their counter, I think. But I don't think it smells like garlic. So, yeah, so I'm really happy with this. I think that you will see me plant a lot more soft neck garlic varieties for next year so that I can make more of these. I think it would be a pretty special gift to be able to gift this to someone. And not only is it beautiful, but it's super practical. So I just want to thank you, friend, for taking time out of your day to spend time with me as we went ahead and braided this year's garlic soft neck varieties. If you want to watch some more of my videos and you want to see how I harvested this, I'll put some videos right here you can go enjoy between now and my next upload. I really do appreciate every single one of you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I greatly appreciate that. So I hope you're having a great day, and I can't wait to see you next time. I'm going to go pick blueberries, and Josh is going to go work on some trim.